It's Life Aspects with Visionary Rose, and today I want to be talking about don't get knocked off your monument. Now, when I talk about the monument is specifically you. Although you're not a building, and you may not be tall, and because we all know that that's what a monument is, it's a tall structured building, but you may not have to look at yourself as being tall because you may not be tall. But when a monument, you know that the monument is solid, it's very structured, and it's firm, and it's really, really tall. So when I talk about the monument, I wrote some things down. I'm about to read them out to you. The journey is for you, number 1. Driven mindset, number 2. Purpose is number 3. The ability to see what's going on with you is number 4. And number 5 is sense the energy and still show love. So now I want to talk about the journey is for you when I talk about the monument. Because mind you, the monument is you. So I wish I can. Okay, this is what I have. This is what I had. Like, I hope y'all can see it. But this is what I had wrote. And so when I had put you in the middle and I had put those around, these little things are the characteristics that you have about yourself. I didn't write the characteristics of things, but when I say the journey is for you, you have you in the middle. So you are the monument. So things that are around you in the monument. So let's say like it could be your goals in the monument. It could be your friendships in the monument. It could be your family in the monument. It could be financial stability in the monument. It could be mental health in the monument. It could be emotional health in the monument. It could be so many of those things in the monument. So let's go with number 2 with the driven mindset. So like I said, with the mental health, you are the monument, but you have those things around you that's going to help you to maintain that stable monument and to maintain that strong structured monument, because the monument is you. You're working on building up yourself, trying to stay solid, trying to stay, dedicated to your goals, dedicated to your family, dedicated to your dreams, dedicated to your aspirations, and dedicated to your fears, because in order to face your fears, you have to be dedicated to them, because once you start doing something, you're already dedicated, but you had fear. So now you're dedicated to your fear. Now that you had already faced it, it was a fear before, but now you're just dedicated to it. Okay, so the purpose of you doing it. What is the purpose of you trying to achieve this goal? What do you feel like you would gain from this? What do you feel like do you feel like 5 years later on down the road that you would be successful with this? Do you feel like 5 years later on down the road that you can, the plan that you have written out, that it will work better for you? The ability to sense what's going on within you. So within the monument, okay, so the ability to sense what's going on. So in the midst of you trying to build up your monument and to see what's going on within you, you will have some like tricky areas. You will have some obstacles. You will have like some downfalls. You may have like a few setbacks and stuff like that. And that's why it's important to know your purpose, because in the midst of you like having those like setbacks and stuff like that, most of the time when people have setbacks, they automatically want to like give up. I know when I've had setbacks, I wanted to give up, but I was like, okay, the purpose is not to give up. The purpose is to keep going, because you have people that wanted to give up, but then when you look at them and they share their story of how they didn't give up, it kind of give you like an emotional booster, like, okay, like I feel good, like, he kind of like, or she kind of like, made me, kind of like, okay, like that was good. Like I needed to hear that. I needed to get something to kind of get me back on my monument. I needed to get something to be back on my structure, to be back on like to stand solid in the midst of whatever. So what I'm saying with the purpose is, don't forget the purpose, and don't discredit the purpose in the midst of like trial and error, or in the midst of like not understanding, or in the midst of like like, okay, is this for me? Because, and then in the midst of it, you may be like, is this for me? Because sometimes you may gotta do a new plan. Sometimes you may gotta do something differently. Like I know business people who may had to like do a different like switcheroo. Like they had to do so much, and it's all about and that's like on another word, like for marketing, like as well too, like what's gonna bring people in, like what's gonna get this sold more. Like it's all about like marketing, and all about like how like basically like on that other side, like how you sell yourself. The ability, oh yeah, okay, I got that. I did say ability to see what's going on. Now the sense the energy and still show love. Okay, so on your monument, this is going back to kind of like the ability to see what's going on around you, but at the same time, that was with you. So now the ability to see the energy. So the energy, there be energy that you will be seeing around you. And also, like I said, on your monument, you have to understand that not only not only is not only are you trying to, you know, build your monument up and trying to make sure, you know, you're doing everything that you got to do, but in the midst of being your monument, you are being watched by building up your monument. And see, I told y'all before that people study you and people watch you. And like one thing about it is, when in the midst of you building up your monument, you notice how folks want to come around, folks want to, you know, try to knock you off your course, try to do things. And that's why I say the ability to sense energy and to still show love, because although when the enemy wants to come around and try to knock you off your course, or when he wants to bring in distractions and stuff like that, and sometimes it's not always the enemy, because sometimes God just be trying to test us, because we may have prayed for something that we wanted, and then we're waiting for that blessing. And in the midst of us waiting for that blessing, God may try to send us a distraction just to see if we're gonna, like, you know, get knocked off our course, if we're gonna like get distracted or whatever. And I know, like, a lot of people sometimes, you know, they blame the enemy on stuff, but sometimes God gives us common sense to not, like, we know that drinking and driving is wrong. So why would I get behind a wheel and turn up a bottle of Hennessy? Why would I get behind the wheel and do that? That's common sense. Now, if I decide to get behind the wheel and turn up a bottle of Hennessy, I have every right to go to jail. Every right to go to jail. And if I kill somebody, I have every right to go to jail for the rest of my life, because I have common sense to know. And see, you know, that's why I said that God gives us common sense, and we should know, like, you know, right from wrong, and really like what to do. Okay, I also wanted to say the characteristics of you in the midst of your monument. So let's say, like, if you that you struggle with taking accountability before, and you had to work on that, because that you not taking accountability, it just, when you not take accountability, it really kind of just it knocks everything off course a little bit. It knocks everything off course, because you not taking accountability, you're kind of really blaming everybody for stuff that you don't even see the wrong that you did and for you. So another thing that I wanted to say, I wanted to drop a gem, and I wanted to say to keep your friends close but your enemies closer. Why, Life Fast Base? Why should I keep my friends close but my enemies closer? You should always keep your friends close but your enemies closer, because one thing about your enemies is they're going to tell everything, and sometimes they don't even know it. They will tell you things in the smallest ways, and they don't even know it. And see, that's why all you have to do is, like, just listen. All you have to do is, like, just listen. I know plenty of enemies in my life, they told on themselves, and I'm like, well, wow, I didn't even have to ask, because you done already told on yourself. But that was a gem I wanted to drop for you guys. Keep your friends close but your enemies close, but still show love at the end of the day. Don't get knocked off your course. And remember, you are the monument. You are the monument, and nobody can knock you off your course. Nobody can take away that monument. If you are structured, you're solid, you're firm, you ain't going nowhere. You're not going nowhere. And you got to look at yourself like that. You got to look at yourself like that to your goals. Like, you know, this goal ain't going nowhere. Like, this goal gonna stand right here. This mental health gonna stay right here. You know, my emotional health gonna stay right here. Like, you got to look at it like that. Like, look at all of that as your monument, because the monument is you. You the one that bring everything to the table. You the one that will help the next person. You the one that can see things like differently. You the one that can see things like at a different standpoint, and to understand, like, you have to look at yourself like that, because if you don't look at yourself like that, nobody else will. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you guys took something from that. I love you guys, and it's Life Fast Base with Visionary Rose.